Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to today. Today I am doing full screen, all about Kevin. Let's hear what our stimulus package 2 looks like.
Hey everyone, me Kevin here, and I've got updates for you on the next stimulus package. And it looks like it's going to include stimulus checks as well. I'm going to give you a full breakdown of everything I know. I spent the last 3 hours researching everything I could possibly figure out about this next bill. And I'll tell you, anytime there are whispers in Congress that, oh yeah, we're ready to submit the next, the next big bill, and I'm talking the next real big package, not like one of these fringe proposals, the little ones introduced by junior senators or representatives. No, the next big one. Everybody tends to know about it before it ends up coming out. So let me give you kind of a rundown of what these whispers are sounding like. So right now, the biggest thing they start with is suggesting, and this is a quote, do we want a press release or a bill we can pass into law? And this is great because it really teases, hey, look, we can put a bill in and submit it and go, everyone gets $10,000 a month forever. Like, it is not necessarily going to go anywhere. The House leadership right now, they want a bill that they can introduce that people in the Senate are going to look at and go, yeah, we could probably work with that. Usually the best thing is you start a dialogue with the other side. Hey, you cool if we, put something like this together and then we talk about it? Yeah, all right, let's put, so those are the whispers we're hearing. Okay, here's what else we're looking to see in it. So that $800 billion, that was a rumor for the amount of this next stimulus package. It looks like that's possibly going to be the amount allocated to state and local governments. But the actual package itself might be closer to a few $trillion because it's going to include funding for vote-by-mail ballots, safety precautions for frontline workers, more testing, expanded access to broadband. We also have the leadership of the House Ways and Means Committee. That's the committee that sort of directs funding and appropriations for bill, aka money for bills, and they say they see maybe 1 to more direct payments to Americans. Now, I want to clarify here, more payments does not appear to be some kind of a universal basic income. I don't think that's going to be very likely, and I don't see any kind of recurring payments super likely. Maybe 1-2 months, that's probably palatable. Maybe they'll introduce it at 3 months and it'll end up getting watered down to 1 to 2 by the Senate. We'll see, but this is definitely coming in. We're also seeing pet proposals coming in, and they say pet proposals are kind of like, when the leadership puts together a massive $2 trillion package, then you kind of get like the newer representatives like, can I have some money for my district? Hey, what about me over here? In fact, there's a Republican that's like, hey, we got 58% of our tourism that comes to Alaska comes via cruise ships, and they need a little bit of help. Can we get some funding for cruise ships in here? This is kind of how you end up getting all of it's basically how a bill turns into an 800-page bill. You get these initial ideas, then you explain those, and then everybody and their mother puts in a proposal because they realize the odds of a small minor bill getting through the House, the Senate, and getting signed by Trump, very, very small. So people fill up the bill with all the junk they want for their district. Like, well, I need a new park. Well, I need a new hospital. Well, I need universal basic. Yeah, no, that's not going through, right? All right, let's see what other information we have. So some Republicans, especially in the House, have already signaled support for income guarantees. Marco Rubio in the Senate specifically came out and suggested revenue replacements for local governments for essential services. He thinks there's a valid area of concern there. So if you're an essential service, possibly some sort of income guarantee there. Other Republicans have also signaled support for, quote, household aid. Some of these are kind of like pseudonyms for more stimulus checks, but I feel like they don't quite want to say that yet because it's not the most popular with Republicans to say, yeah, more stimulus checks, because it sounds too similar to universal basic income. So income guarantees, household aid, maybe one more direct payment. See all these other words they're using here? It's just jargon. All right, obviously money for state and local first responders. All right, what do we have here? Democrat leaders have made clear the legislation will feature a host of big-ticket items, billions of dollars to expand testing, unemployment benefits, small business loans, and aid for state and local governments. That was right from The Hill. We've got the Wall Street Journal here, the Washington Post. We've got articles here from all different sides and quotes directly from senators and representatives' websites. For example, we've got Mitch McConnell saying Republicans will be insisting on strong legal protections for the front lines. We won't let our historic recovery efforts be diverted, so taxpayers foot the bill for the biggest trial lawyer bonanza in history. He's going off about these legal protections. I guess I get it. It makes sense. You know, like we've said before, we don't want businesses opening up to have people essentially suing the businesses because they end up getting sick because they went in to buy a hamburger and they left with the hamburger and the Rona. And not like the Corona, the drink. I wonder how Corona sales are. Also, McConnell said this yesterday that he's not ruling out the additional package. So he's obviously in talks with Pelosi, obviously open to some kind of additional package here. And they're going to be getting a big one. Remember, right now, the Senate Republicans and the Senate in general, they're focusing on judicial nominations. There's a good chance they're going to be filing or voting on a measure to overrule Donald Trump's veto. Yesterday, Donald Trump vetoed a bill that was passed like months ago that says Donald Trump's not allowed to unilaterally attack Iran without the approval of Congress, which just basically means Trump can't wake up one morning and go, we're going to strike Iran. Not that he does that. I mean, I don't know what he does, but the point is Congress says if you're going to strike another country like Iran, you need to let us know first, and you need to get our permission first. Donald Trump vetoed that because it's kind of like, you guys take too long, is my assumption. And so now the Senate might actually vote today on Thursday to see if they can overrule Donald Trump's veto. They'll need a 2/3 majority, though. That'll be interesting. Then we've got Rand Paul. Rand Paul, not the biggest proponent, though. This is probably like on the far opposite side of more stimulus. He says, there really isn't any money to send anymore. I mean, there is no rainy day fund. There is no savings. We'd have to borrow it, he said. A lot of the money we currently borrow is from China. So we'd have to be more indebted to China in order to send more money to states. I'm not quite sure how much of that is narrative or politics, especially after the video I did yesterday on China's involvement in politics and stimulus, especially since it seems that around 70% of the money that we borrow from ourselves. So we kind of owe that money to ourselves. But again, not trying to get political. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a proportion of money that we borrow when we borrow money that comes from China. So he's not wrong about that. It just shows, there's definitely going to be resistance to this package. This is not going to be a big slam dunk. And I think that's why you see a lot of people are going to be putting in a lot of crazy pet provisions into this bill, because I think a lot of people in Congress are going to look at this and go, this is my last shot at getting something passed before the election. All right, then we've got indications that Democrats actually do not seem very excited about a payroll tax cut. But obviously Trump is, so we know Trump's very for that. I wonder if he's going to somehow insist that Republicans push that in. That'll be interesting. We know that we also have Democrats and Republicans talking about relaxing this 75% payroll rule on the Paycheck Protection Program. And then on sort of the other side of Rand Paul, we've got AOC, who is a Democrat from New York and is calling for $2,000 in monthly recurring payments to all families, regardless of immigration status, and $1,000 per child. It says here, the New York Democrat also wants rent canceled during the pandemic and says, quote, we need to be able to play hardball so that working families can get the meaningful help they need. And here's another interesting one. This one's called the Restart Proposal. The Restart Proposal was proposed by Democrats and Republicans, sort of a coalition of about 4 of them, and it would seek to, quote, provide funding to cover the next 6 months of payroll, benefits, and fixed operating expenses for businesses that have taken a substantial revenue hit during the COVID-19 epidemic. Interesting. I mean, this is really fascinating. Then there are 3 really awesome proposals that are linked at the top of my description down below. One of them actually gives you 2 free stocks with Webull. Another one lets you buy life insurance within 5 minutes on your phone, like that. It's easy to sign up. You get a quote within like 30 seconds. It's crazy. It keeps getting faster now. People keep messaging me going, I got to get faster. And then, of course, there's a proposal to join me in my awesome programs, except you could actually click on those and do those right now. You don't have to wait for Congress to pass that. Now, in terms of when the bill comes out, well, the bill is going to come out and get announced right after you hit the subscribe button, because then I'll be able to announce it to you as soon as it comes out. It is expected to come out, though, either today, tomorrow, or Monday or Tuesday, so there is a chance we'll have to wait the weekend. I would not be surprised at all. In fact, I'm almost expecting, I'm going to go as far as just saying it, I'm expecting this next bill to include additional stimulus payments. Whether or not that actually gets through the Senate, I'm not sure. I have almost zero hope for a year's worth of payments. I also have very little hope for 6 months worth of payments. I think anything.
Thank you, everyone, for stopping by and seeing what I was up to today. I do appreciate it. I will paste and copy his links that he talks about down below. Thanks again and have a great day. Like, subscribe, and share my videos. Thank you.